Do you ever wonder what happens during the high-stakes conversations between world leaders? What did President Biden and President Xi Jinping discuss in their recent phone call? The world of diplomacy is often shrouded in mystery, but let's peel back the curtain a bit. This wasn't just any ordinary conversation. This was the first dialogue between President Biden and President Xi Jinping since their November summit. Now, you might be asking yourself, what was the crux of their conversation? Well, they discussed a variety of global issues, each with its own complexities and implications. Let's delve into it. First, the issue of Taiwan was brought up, a subject that's been a source of tension for quite some time. The leaders also discussed the South China Sea tensions, another geopolitical hotspot where peace and stability are paramount. But it wasn't all about disagreements and conflicts. They also talked about human rights abuses, a topic that's been at the forefront of international concerns. It's a delicate issue, but one that can't be ignored in any diplomatic dialogue. Yet, despite these tensions and disagreements, there were also areas of cooperation explored, countering narcotics, for instance. This is a global problem that transcends borders and requires the collective efforts of all nations. And of course, there's the ever-pressing issue of climate change. It's an existential threat to our planet, and it was on the agenda of their conversation. After all, the United States and China are two of the world's biggest carbon emitters. Their cooperation is vital in the fight against climate change, so a diverse range of topics were on the table during this conversation. But what was the underlying aim of this dialogue? The goal of any diplomatic conversation is often more profound than the topics discussed. So, what was the deeper purpose of this call between President Biden and President Xi Jinping? As we delve beneath the surface, we find that this call was not merely an exchange of pleasantries or a routine check-in. It was a strategic measure aimed at preventing misunderstandings that could potentially escalate into conflicts between these two superpowers. This purpose underscores the necessity of communication in managing international relations, where a misconstrued remark or an unattended concern can lead to undesirable consequences. But how does one prevent misunderstandings in such a complex and volatile scenario? The Biden administration's approach provides a clue. While the conversation touched on various global issues, the administration made it clear that it would not merely take China's words at face value. This is particularly true concerning cybersecurity threats. It's no secret that cybersecurity has become a major point of contention in recent years, with allegations and counter-allegations flying back and forth. In this context, the administration's emphasis on verifying Chinese actions reflects a careful, calibrated approach. The administration's stance sends a clear message: trust but verify. This principle, coined during the Cold War, remains relevant today, especially in the digital age where cyber threats loom large. It recognizes the need for cooperation, but also acknowledges the reality of potential threats. It's a balancing act, treading the fine line between fostering a cooperative relationship and safeguarding national interests. This approach, however, is not limited to cybersecurity. It extends to other areas of concern as well, including trade practices, human rights issues, and geopolitical tensions. By emphasizing verification, the administration is asserting its commitment to hold China accountable, while also extending an olive branch for cooperation. It's clear that this conversation was a strategic move to manage the complex relationship between the two superpowers. But what specific concerns did President Biden express during this call? As the President of the United States, Biden had some specific concerns to address with President Xi Jinping. What were they? In the course of their conversation, President Biden took the opportunity to underscore some of the United States' principal apprehensions. A key focal point of these concerns was the Taiwan Strait. This narrow body of water, separating Taiwan from mainland China, has long been a geopolitical hotspot, a source of tension, and a potential flashpoint for conflict. Biden emphasized the pressing need for peace and stability in this region, a sentiment reflective of the broader international community's hopes. But it wasn't just about Taiwan. The conversation also found Biden expressing concerns about China's trade practices. The United States, like many other nations, has been grappling with the complexities of trade with China. Some of these complexities revolve around issues such as intellectual property rights, market access, and the balance of trade. Biden's concerns, therefore, were not merely about the scale of trade, but also about the rules and practices governing it. Moreover, President Biden didn't shy away from raising another contentious issue: China's support for Russia. This concern comes against the backdrop of increasing global tensions and the shifting dynamics of international relations. The alliance between these two powerful nations has implications for global politics and security, and it's clearly a matter that's been weighing on Biden's mind. Biden didn't hold back in expressing U.S. concerns, but how is the U.S. planning to follow up on these issues? As the dialogue between the United States and China continues, it'll be crucial to see how these concerns are addressed and what steps are taken to work towards resolutions. After all, the conversation between Presidents Biden and Xi Jinping wasn't just about airing grievances. It was about finding ways to navigate the complex and often challenging relationship between these two superpowers. A diplomatic conversation is only as effective as the actions that follow it. So, what are the next steps for the U.S.? The wheels of diplomacy are already in motion. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen, a key figure in the Biden administration, is gearing up to visit China. Her mission? To address trade practices, a topic that has long been a thorn in the side of the U.S.-China relationship. In the intricate dance of international politics, this move signifies the U.S.'s intent to follow through on the concerns raised during the call between the two presidents. This isn't a one-off, though. Both the United States and China have engaged in high-level diplomatic talks. These aren't just cordial chats over cups of tea. These are serious, strategic discussions aimed at managing their complex and often fraught relationship. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. Can these two superpowers find a way to cooperate, to address shared global challenges, while also acknowledging and respecting their differences? It's a delicate balancing act. What's clear is that the dialogue between President Biden and President Xi wasn't an endpoint, but rather a springboard for further action. Both nations are committed to continued discussions, to keeping the lines of communication open. It's through these ongoing conversations that they hope to prevent misunderstandings and manage the intricate web of ties that bind them. So as we watch this political dance unfold, remember that every step, every move, is part of a larger strategy. Each action is a response, a signal, a message. And each conversation is a chance to better understand, to find common ground, and to work towards a more stable and cooperative world. It seems that there are concrete plans in place to follow up on the issues discussed during the call. This conversation was just one step towards managing the complex relationship between these two superpowers. Diplomacy is a delicate dance, especially between superpowers like the US and China. So, what can we take away from this recent conversation between President Biden and President Xi Jinping? In this intricate ballet of international relations, the recent dialogue between the leaders of the US and China has given us several key insights. The conversation spanned a myriad of global issues, from the tensions in the South China Sea and Taiwan Strait to human rights abuses. It painted a complex portrait of a relationship steeped in cooperation and contention, harmony and discord. The dialogues underscored the shared commitment to countering narcotics and addressing climate change. It was a reminder of the potential for unity, even amidst disagreements, when global challenges demand concerted efforts. The two leaders also recognized the need to prevent misunderstandings, a crucial element in managing a relationship as layered and multifaceted as theirs. President Biden's concerns regarding China's trade tactics and support for Russia, as well as the cybersecurity threats, were laid bare. These issues are not merely bilateral, they have far-reaching implications for the global community. The proposed visit by Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen to China to address trade practices indicates the seriousness with which these concerns are being addressed. The conversation also highlighted the importance of peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait, a region that has become a flashpoint in US-China relations. It reaffirms the commitment of both nations to manage their differences, ensuring that their competition does not veer into conflict. These high-level diplomatic talks, with plans for more in the future, are pivotal. They serve as a testament to the power of dialogue in managing complex relationships, navigating disagreements, and finding common ground. They remind us that diplomacy is not just about grand gestures on the global stage, but also about conversations, understanding, and mutual respect. Remember, every conversation, every decision, every action in the world of diplomacy has a ripple effect on the global stage. As citizens, it's crucial for us to stay informed and understand these dynamics. Until next time, stay curious and keep asking questions. And remember, if you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated on the latest in international diplomacy, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us continue to bring you in-depth analyses like this one. Thanks for watching.